I never thought my life would be like this. I was going to write about my heartbreak for strangers to read, in hopes that they might find some kind of comfort in it. My name is Adam. I'm 33 years old and Emily, 37, is my wife of 8 years. Our daughter Lily is 4 years old, and she's the best thing ever. Whatever comes, she is my sea mooring. We began in Poland, both of us children. My wife Emily and I were little when we met, and we just happened to meet by accident. Something about her had been there, something in her eyes, and laughter to light up a room. I fell in love with her immediately, and we formed a relationship that was impossible to break. Or so I thought. Our relationship was never perfect, and we, like every couple, went through the bumps, the good times and the bad. But in it all, we never lost touch with one another. We would be pulled together again and again by something that we shared, a memory, a joke, the love we could never let go of. The final hiccup for our lives was me going to live in the UK. There were difficulties in Poland and more for Emily and I. I wanted to be in a better future where we could make our family strong. Emily said yes, but neither of us was very comfortable with it. I departed first, abandoned all I knew and her too. My husband and I worked so hard for a year and a half trying to make my home in the UK. The adjustment was longer than I had expected. The language barrier, the new culture, the permanent position. But I was determined. I wanted to build a safe and comfortable life, so when Emily came home with me, we could begin over again. I ponied up every cent. When Emily arrived, I had enough saved to rent a house, get a car and get us off on the right foot. And then she came. I was delighted. I thought my life was coming apart at last. We were both back together, and for a time it seemed like we'd be okay. We talked about having kids, planned for the future, and started to settle into life. But the smiles lasted not long. I was in the morning getting ready to work, when Emily's phone threw up a notification. It was just a "Hey, honey." I hadn't looked at her phone before. I knew she was the one, but something about that message sent me spiraling. I didn't feel like it, but curiosity won me over. What I found changed everything. The note was from a conversation with a man Emily used to work for in Poland. Their message was by no means a glib one. He asked her what she was wearing, and she said, "Don't text her too early, or your husband will see." Their texts were full of cute, "Hi, honey" notes, and it shivered my blood. When I asked Emily to apologize, she immediately said she didn't do anything wrong. She said he was a friend, and this was how they just talked. But all the confidence we'd developed in years was dashed in one day. Having doubt was a thing I thought about 24/7 since that day. I tried to push myself over, but it lingers. I brought it up over and over, year after year, if I could find some closure, but Emily would snap back. She would comment on me. "So what kind of person do you think I am? I wouldn't leave you." I didn't want to think she was telling the truth, but somehow I felt there was more. Even when life was hard on our marriage, we got on with it. After a while, we got a house and adopted Lily. I was the luckiest man in the world when I had my son. I was loving the first time I held her. I told myself that I was going to take care of her despite what. But life rips even the strongest of ties. I had started to suffer from back pain at about the same time that Lily was born. It began as a simple pain, but quickly turned into an unrelenting and crippling discomfort that would touch everything I did. Hundreds of doctor's appointments and investigations later, I was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, a disease that afflicts the spine through chronic inflammation and gradually unites it. The trauma was too much, and it reshaped me. From a fit, energetic guy, to someone who couldn't even get out of bed some mornings. Emily was supportive at first. She came to assist, whatever she could, but I could tell it was straining her. Gradually, her patience ran out. She was angry with not only me, but the life we were leading. I was a burden, and I gnawed at it. I was an advocate for her and for Lily, but on some days it was too much to take. I learned of Emily texting another man 3 years ago. This time the messages were more open. They talked about having met at a hotel and missing each other. And when I called her out on it, she wept. She said it was a stupid thing to do, a simple way of getting out of the pressure of our life, and she'd never do it again. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to trust her. But somewhere deep down I was sick. Still I stayed. I was doing it for Lily, I said to myself, for our family, for the life we had built. But the reality was I stayed because I loved her. I loved her though, heartbroken all the same. 5 weeks ago it all dissolved. Emily had gotten a little more clandestine with her phone, I could tell. She started deleting messages and covering up her screen when I was nearby. I got a suspicion, and I experimented with her. I told her, well, maybe we should go out and divorce. Maybe it will show that she was trying to conceal something. I lost my heart when my strategy worked. A week later, Emily had messages from me from her boss. He was a man in his 60s, married, 2 kids. They talked of dates, nights out, and even hotel overnights. They were sexting and dreaming about a future together, and she did not deny it when I asked her. She bailed me on it instead. She claimed I had driven her away due to all the questions and my illness. We fought for days afterwards. In one of these encounters, I mentioned the man from 8 years earlier, the one she had always denied having. She came clean this time. She told me they'd kissed and pecked at one another many times. She held those words like a scalpel to my chest, as if the room had been emptied of air. I didn't know how to answer, and now we're getting divorced. There is the mortgage and the toddler on top of it, and we aren't really thriving financially. Emily has come to tell me she doesn't love me anymore, and she no longer wants to be around me. But all the same, I still love her. What could I have done differently? I am constantly saying to myself. Was I not enough? Did I deserve this? Here I am writing my account, and I am broken, lost, and don't know what to do. But with Lily, I will make it work. I have to.